So today we will be discussing about the practice test of AWS Solution Architect Associate, which is present there in the official website. If you don't have an account on AWS Skill Builder, then create one, and then you will get this page in which it is written as exam prep official practice set question set. So these questions, like these are 20 questions which will test you that what exactly you have learned so far. And basically these exam style questions include detailed feedback and recommended resources which can help you prepare for the exam. And with the help of these 20 questions which are developed by AWS, so it will demonstrate the style of our certification exam, of their certification exams. So basically these 20 questions will judge you. So let's get started, and I'll be discussing all the questions. So the first question is, a company is developing a chat application that will be deployed on AWS. The application stores the message by using a key value data model. Groups of users typically read the messages multiple times. A solution architect must select a database solution that will scale for a high rate of reads and will deliver message with a microsecond latency. Which database solution will meet these requirements? So with the questions, I will be marking 2-3 keywords which will help me answer the question. So the first thing is key value data model. So the database which support key value data model, so we know in this case, without even seeing the options, we can say that DynamoDB supports key value model. And the second keyword I can see is that it should deliver messages with microsecond latency. So the microsecond latency is offered by DynamoDB DAX accelerator. So if we see the options, the first option is Aurora. Obviously Aurora will not support it, and Aurora replicas will also not. So the question, or the basically Neptune, is for the graph representation or graph database. So even this will not go with the question. Only one option which I can see here is Amazon DynamoDB with DynamoDB accelerator. So it will help this requirement. So let's mark and see. Yeah. So they have even given the explanation. So basically what they are saying is DynamoDB is a NoSQL database that supports key value records. We know this. And DAX delivers responses times in microseconds. We know that even microseconds and milliseconds it delivers. So let's check our second question. So the second question is, which components are required to build a site-to-site VPN connect to AWS? So this is also very easy. If you have already gone through site-to-site VPN connections, direct connections, and all the connections in AWS, so you can easily answer this also. They are asking that you have to select two. So you know the site-to-site VPN connections, a customer gateway and a virtual private gateway supports this. So two components which are required. So internet gateway is not required for this site-to-site VPN. NAT gateway is also not required, because we know that NAT gateway is applied on the public subnet. Customer gateway and a virtual private gateway will help connect the site-to-site VPN to AWS. Yeah. So the answer you can see is, they have given the explanation for all the incorrect answers also. As internet gateway is attached to VPC to allow traffic from the internet to flow into or out of the VPC. A VPN connection does not flow through an internet gateway. A NAT gateway provides a way for private Amazon institutions to send requests to the internet. A NAT gateway does not give you the ability to create an encrypted site-to-site VPN connection. We know this. It's a very basic question. It's a direct question. Customer gateway is required for the VPN connection to be established. A customer gateway device is set up and configured in the customer's data center. We know this. And likewise, Amazon API gateway, they have given the explanation for this, that what exactly it is. It is API gateway is a fully managed service for a developer to create, publish, maintain, monitor and secure APIs at the scale. So it is not about site-to-site VPN connection. And VP gateway, we know, virtual private gateway, we know that it is attached to VPC to create a site-to-site VPN connections to AWS. You can accept private encrypted network traffic from an on-premises data center into your VPC without the need of traverse the open public internet. So let's go and jump into the third question. So a company runs its website on Amazon EC2 instance behind an application load balancer that is configured as the origin for an Amazon CloudFront distribution. The company wants to protect against cross-site scripting and SQL injections attack. Which approach should a solution architect recommend to meet these requirements? So the keywords which I have found in this is, first is Amazon CloudFront distribution. We know that what exactly Amazon CloudFront distribution is. It is CDN, and but here what exactly we have to do, or what exactly a solution architect has to do? The company wants to protect against cross-site scripting and SQL injection attacks. So the keyword is SQL injection attack and the cross-site scripting. So basically, when we talk about these attacks, so obviously we know that the question is regarding the security. And whenever you see the keyword SQL injection attacks, you should consider WAF. So because we can even go for the Shield Advance also in this, but the WAF will help in protecting against the SQL injection. So let's see. Yeah, so here is Shield Advance also, but Shield Advance will not, that will help in the cross-site scripting for sure, but it will not help in the SQL injection. So you can see there is only one answer. Set up our AWS WAF on the CloudFront distribution, use conditions and rules that blocks cross-site scripting and SQL injection. So let's mark it and see. Yeah, so it is a correct one. So AWS WAF can detect the presence of SQL code that is likely to be malicious, known as SQL injection. AWS WAF also can detect the presence of script that is likely to be malicious. You know that it is basically WAF will support the unnecessary SQL injection, malicious activity, whatever will be coming. So let's get the other question. An application runs on two Amazon EC2 instance behind the load balancer. The EC2 instances are in a single availability zone. What should a solution architect do to make this architecture more highly available? Okay, so it's a tricky one. So an application runs on two Amazon EC2 instances. Like basically two Amazon EC2 instances are there, and there is an NLB also. So you can understand the architecture. There is an NLB and there are two EC2 instances, and EC2 instances are high, and they both are in the single availability zone. So whenever it comes up with this single availability zone, and what should a solution architect do to make this architecture more highly available? Okay, this is already okay when it is in the single availability zone, and now they are saying that they have to make it more highly available. So let's check the options first. Create a new VPC with two new EC2 instance in the same AZ as the original EC2 instance. Create a VPC peering connection. Okay, they are saying that create a VPC peering connection between the two VPCs. So they can even, okay, if they will create a VPC pairing connection between two group phases. Let's see this one. Replace the NLB with an application load balancer that is configured with the EC2 instance in an auto scaling group. Configure Amazon Route 53 to perform health checks on the EC2 instance behind the NLB and a failover routing policy. Place the EC2 instances in an auto scaling group that extend across multiple availability zones designated the auto scaling group. Now see here the question is asking about how to make it more highly available. So in highly available, out of these options, only one auto scaling group, this one auto scaling, because obviously if you are using an auto scaling group, so you are making it more highly available because you are connecting it to multiple availability zone. So here I can see that this is the main hint which I am getting from here, like auto scaling group, because VPC pairing can also be there, but VPC pairing will not work here. They want highly available. Even we don't need to, like, why we will do anything like this, why we have to replace NLB with an ALB, so that is not required for sure. Even health checks, yeah, Route 53 can also be there, but Route 53 cannot, no, Route 53 will not help it. Only the auto scaling group will help it, because we have to, let's mark and see. Yeah, exactly. So let's see. This solution extends the EC2 instances across multiple availability zones, because auto scaling group will automatically help to help in extending the EC2 across multiple availability zones and automatically adds capacity when additional capacity is needed. Okay, now check the next question. A company has strict data protection requirement. A solution must configure security for a VPC to ensure that backend Amazon RDS DB instances cannot be accessed from the internet. Okay. The solution architect must ensure that the DB instances are accessible from the application tier over a specified port or section. Okay. So the question, I have to understand the question first. Data protection requirement they have. A solution architect must configure security for a VPC to ensure that backend Amazon RDS DB, so they are talking about database cannot be accessed from the internet. Okay. The solution architect must ensure that the DB instances are accessible from the application tier, okay, over a specified port. So basically they are talking about the security, talking about security. So let's see that what we can do is in this is specify DB subnet group that contains only private subnet for DB instance. And this can be correct. What they're saying, specify DB subnet group that contains only private subnet for the DB instance. Yeah, we can go for this, because private subnet will make it more secure, because the data we don't want the public. But this is application tier. So in application tier, two tiers are public facing and one is private facing. So it can go with this. One subnet we can go for the private subnet. Attach an elastic network interface with a private IPv4 address to each DB instance. No. Configure AWS Shield with VPC. Update the route tables for the subnet that the DB instance use. Configure an AWS direct connection on the database port between the application tier and the backend. Add an inbound role to the database security group that allows requests to the security group of the application or the database. Yeah, we can go with this, because we know that in private subnet, application tier 1 can be the private subnet, and the other one can be adding inbound rule to the database security group that allows request from the security group of the application layer over the database. First, let's, yeah, the answer is correct. Let me read the explanation now. A private subnet is one component to use to secure the database tier. internet traffic is not limited to a private subnet. When you place DB instances in a private subnet, you add a layer of security. Okay, you're adding a layer of security with a private subnet, and security groups can resist access to DB instances. Security groups provide access from only the application tier on and only a specific port. Okay.